What screams, I peaked in high school.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
A guy graduated 2 years before me, in 2006. He got a job as a quote-unquote school narc my senior year. Basically, a job that is somewhere below security, and barely a step above student. We had our 10-year reunion last year in the school gymnasium, and there he was, with his sunglasses on at 8 p.m., sporting a sweet Flavor Saver and Dickies shorts, with his black socks pulled up to his knees, as was the fashion for all the bros at my high school when we attended. He was making his rounds, trying to enforce every single rule that was imposed on students. Meanwhile, we're all 27 to 29 years old, and nobody is taking his shit. Eventually someone told him,
You were a tool in high school, and nothing has changed. Get lost, narc.
Yeah? Do you know how many girls I boned back in the day? I boned Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita.
It was hard watching that guy spiral so hard, while everyone was laughing at him. Edit. A Flavor Saver is a nickname we give for the patch of hair that grows directly under your bottom lip. It's a flavor saver because when you go down on a woman, the juice gets in there and you can taste it later. It's just a joke we'd say cause it was very popular amongst the bro crowd in high school. Basically a guy who tries really hard to be a hard ass, because they couldn't grow beards or mustaches but could attain one of those.
Still bragging about high school basketball games from 10 years ago.
Do I know you, man? Ever hear of Al Bundy? Polk High, all city, 4 touchdowns in one game?
Yeah, but Al had a decent house, a loving marriage, a social network with actively maintained friendships, and a steady job that could support all that. And yeah, he did view high school as his glory days, but he really should have been happier.
I'm not sure you've seen Married with Children.
Al had a hot wife who wanted to all the time, a large house, a nice car, after it was cleaned, 2 kids, all in a nice Chicago suburb, all with a shoe salesman salary. Al was living the dream and bitched the whole time.
Like seriously, I program robots for the most valuable company on earth, and yet, I'm single and rent a house with 2 guys I met on Craigslist.
What about people claiming to be able to throw a football over a mountain?
You know, back in '82, I could throw a pigskin over a quarter mile.
Oh yeah. Well, I can throw bacon over a quarter pounder.
Hanging out with kids in high school after high school.
We had a guy we nicknamed Pedo Dave. Dude was like 20 and still around with freshman and sophomore girls. Man, that guy was sleazy as
Hey there, want to earn money from home and set your own hours? And I'm sorry to hear that many of y'all have had that so-called bestie, more like acquaintance, reach out to you with a desperate sales pitch.
Oh, are you referring to Boss Babe?
Hey hun, long time no see. I know I bullied the shit out of you in high school, but we're totally past that now, right? Now, do you wanna buy some terrible and overpriced supplement/makeup/essential oils from me? Hashtag boss babe, hashtag be your own boss, hashtag killing it.
Be your own boss.
Damn, my sister slots into that so much and it hurts, because she legitimately had a bright future ahead of her. Like in 10th grade she had 3 offers for musical colleges just begging her to join them. Because she was like the second best flutist of her age in my state, she was captain of the Quiz Bowl team, leader of the Future Farmers of America Club, and winning all kinds of awards for this shit, to the point that when I hit middle school I was auto-enrolled in most of the same programs, because they thought I would be as good as her. I wasn't. But then, she met her now husband, started smoking weed and doing lines of coke, dropped out of school halfway through 10th grade, started trying to fight my mom and I, like fistfights and throwing things like books, then ran away from home and moved in with her boyfriend, got knocked up, moved to the other end of the country and was homeless for 6 months. She's now 22 and has a 4th kid on the way, owes me $1,300. Her husband lost his job due to faking a shoulder injury, and she has now decided that she is gonna join one of her friends in being part of a multi-level marketing scheme, selling rings or some shit like that. She legitimately had a full future ahead of her, but she threw it away for a dude that can barely hold down a job to keep bills paid, and spends more time playing games on the PlayStation my sister gifted him, than raising his own kids.
I draw a crappy online comic series on boss babes, And I follow several of them for inspiration. If there's one thing they all have in common, it's that peaked at 16 vibe. It's the teenage passive-aggressive posts about haters and positive vibes. It's the cliqueness and quote-unquote, finding your tribe and best friends for life. It's the hairstyles and clothes that are just a few years out of date. It's the infantilizing language, boss girl, mompreneur, boss babe, mom boss etc. And the whole play pretend aspect, because they're not real business owners, and although a few of them do come from educated backgrounds, many people in MLMs don't. That stay-at-home mom who wished she'd done more in life is the perfect target for MLMs to prey upon. It's truly sad.
I'm gonna need a link to those comics.
Of course, link in the description.
This is every 21-year-old where I live right now.
Let me take a guess. Utah?
Nah, Australia.
A girl I know is deep in this shit now. She's 22, has 3 kids, and is married to the third one's dad. She's crazy about the coffee she's selling that's also a weight loss aid. She posts at least 2 or 3 videos a week, but every damn one has a Snapchat or Facebook filter on it. Her latest one is her wearing these 5-pound cut-off shorts with her 10-pound cooter flabbing out of it. She recently got, quote-unquote, promoted at her candle selling thing, so now she's offering a free candle with every $100 purchase.
Hey hun, have you tried my essential oils? They help kill cancer.
Really?
Of course, hun.
Huh.
I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world!
Hey, neat, I guess it does work.
I went to school with a girl whose parents graduated from our high school 20 years prior. All 4 members of their family got the school's logo tattooed. Her boyfriend still goes to the football games and reposts his game highlights on Instagram. We're all 21 to 22. I'm from New Mexico and live in the largest city in the state. We've never had a good high school football team, and the boyfriend usually goes to pick up underage girls, and brags to everyone about how he was the star football player. If someone from another team makes a really good play, he'll make some kind of remark about how he could have done it better, or he'll go into a detail about his junior varsity football experience.
I'll take. Big yikes. For $200, Alex. Number 1. Still wearing your Letterman jacket and class ring in your 30s. Number 2. Talking about high school sports games from a different decade as if they meant something. Number 3. Still living in your hometown and looking forward to that night at the bar just before Thanksgiving, when everyone who left comes home, so you can talk about high school stuff to people who have actually grown up and have real lives now.
That last one is oddly specific, haha.
This is legit, a small town thing.
It's fine if it's just bullshitting about fun times back in the day. I've seen it used both ways. My personal favorite of the bad was some dude making fun of some other guy who was his backup for a state semifinal from the 80s. Usually, you just get to hear some funny or silly stories, which is the good way. Working at Scoops Ahoy.
He spent all day every day with Uma Thurman's daughter. That's not peaking, that's winning at life.
That was Uma Thurman's daughter? It all makes sense now.
You know that means you suck.
Too bad she's gay though.
She got him a job at the video store. He gained a friend.
I love how Steve Harrington keeps developing excellent friendships with people that he originally dismissed as losers. His character arc shows how quickly popular in high school can turn to total loser adult. Embracing the misfits shows how much he's grown.
Getting the score of the football game you won against the school's rival tattooed on your shoulder.
I'm actually British, and this whole thread is funny, but this. People actually do this.
Sadly, yes.
A guy who graduated from my high school back in 2003 was arrested a few years ago for his second DUI. He was wearing his Letterman jacket in his mugshot.
Once, when I was 25, I picked up some stuff at my parents' house. One of those things is my Letterman's jacket. I put it on and got in the car, but then I had to stop for gas. Now, guess who happens to be filling their car next to mine? My old high school wrestling coach. I wonder how much of a loser he thought I was. I wasn't even that good.
So I guess, that's a real thing and not just a movie thing?
It is absolutely a real thing. I know a guy who still wears his Letterman's jacket from high school at the age of 54, and has the number 28 tattooed on his bicep, because he once scored that many points in a high school football game. And no, he's not Al Bundy.
Partying with high schoolers when you were 30.
I can't imagine this. I'm 32, and high schoolers seemed ridiculously young to me after about 23.
It's strange because when you're 18 you enjoy hanging out with people that age, but when you're 23 like me, high school kids are literally stupid, loud, and just irritating. When I was there, I bet older people said the same thing about me, but it's weird seeing it and noticing it.
When I was in middle school, all of the hottest girls dated high schoolers. I just couldn't wait to make it to high school to score some hot chicks. Then I became a freshman and realized those high schoolers dating middle schoolers were the lamest people on earth. Super weird, haha.
When I was 17, it was nice to know people like this because they bought us beer and gave us a place to party, but even then, I knew they were losers in their mid-20s hanging out with high school kids.
Selling pot to teenagers, and then trying to get them to stay and smoke with you.
I do this, but it's with adults and I'm actually awfully lonely. I sell drugs just for the human connection.
Me, in a horrid realization, in the back of my '92 Camaro, while icing that knee I blew out at the championship game senior year, reading through my divorce papers.
Sounds like a Matt Damon movie produced by Adam Sandler, and the mom from Gilmore Girls is the ex-wife.
You, my friend, have a future in Hollywood.
There's still time to open a gym. You'll have to sleep there for a while on account of the divorce, become the overweight bald owner who still benches a disturbing amount of weight when he's not injured. Yelling encouragement at your regular lifters is a partial substitute for not having friends and a family.
Still bullying the at your 10-year reunion.
Or worse, in real life, I briefly worked with a guy I went to high school with, and like 90% of our not work-related conversations were him reminiscing about how much he'd bullied me in high school, and acting like it was all a big joke.
Imagine being that sad.
No thanks, I have enough of my own depression.
I had an opposite experience. I went to a reunion and the school bully, a huge muscular guy, and one of the quote-unquote losers, a skinny lactose-intolerant guy, had started working together and become best friends, gone on fishing trips together, and the likes. Was quite cool to see.
You know what really screams peaked in high school? Dying before graduation.
Damn, that's dark.
Turn the lights on then.
Peaked in high school? Gosh, I peaked in elementary school and it was downhill from there. Edit, thanks to everyone for relating.
There I was, on stage, in front of the whole elementary school, and I had just won the spelling bee. I felt like it was the start of something great.
But little did he know, it wasn't.
I peaked at the sperm race, it has been downhill since then.
Seeing as the sperm that actually fertilizes the egg is always one in the middle of the pack, you weren't even that good either. Making any mention of SAT or ACT scores, bonus points for that IQ test you took when you were a kid online.
One summer I was doing an internship, and introduced myself to a fellow intern. He told me his name and SAT score, then asked me what my score had been. He seemed shocked when I said I couldn't remember anymore. I was like, dude, we're in grad school.
I teach high school seniors. I tell them my SAT scores have come in handy 3 times in my life, getting into college, transferring colleges, and reminding them I'm smarter than them.
Teachers who suck up to the athletes and other popular kids and ignore the less popular kids. My freshman year Spanish teacher was like that.
At my high school, a coach was worshipped by the girls' basketball team. My first year of college, it came out he had been grooming the girls since middle school around 2012. Suddenly, a lot of petty fights between the girls made so much sense.
This was my junior history teacher as well. He hated, absolutely hated anyone who wasn't a student athlete or part of the student government, and he made this no secret. I was a nerd, so I was on the receiving end of that hatred. Looking back, I actually feel legitimately sorry for him now.
Yep, I had a teacher like that too. She did a favor over one of the nerds, but gave way too much special treatment to the popular kids when they were disruptive, didn't do their work, and were mean. She had nicknames for them and everything. I assume she wasn't one of the popular kids at school and treats her job as a second chance at high school. How about someone saying,
I was in the National Honor Society, So I know a little bit about leadership.
Anytime after high school.
Literally, anyone who applied in my high school got into National Honor Society. If you were the line leader in kindergarten, you were a leader and got into NHS, as long as you met the GPA cutoff, and went to meetings, you were golden.
I have a good one for this. My cousin once dragged me out to a local bar, that I don't particularly care for, due to its reputation, but I was going through a separation and figured I could use a night out. A guy comes up to me, clearly already drunk, and belligerently declares,
"I've never seen you in here before."
I replied, "That's because I've never been in here before."
"Well, I'm just saying I've never seen you here before."
Okay.
"I'm John. I used to play football at the school up the road. Do you know the school just up the road, up on the hill?"
Yes, I know the school. I went to the same school.
"Yeah, I played football there."
Good for you.
"I don't remember you from school."
I don't imagine you do.
"Well, I'm just saying, I played football there and I don't remember you."
Okay. Finally he walked away, more like stumbled away. This was back in around 2013. I graduated in 2004. He was 1 or 2 years ahead of me, so it had been over a decade since he graduated, and he was using his high school football to hit on chicks at the bar. He moved on to hit on my cousin, so I pretended to be her lesbian lover to chase him off. Lol. She thanked me for it. Guy is a total tool and always was.
When I was in high school, this guy a year before me had a fearsome reputation. At house parties, people would fear him just by name alone. He would show up to parties with his cronies and start fights. He came from a decent enough family, everybody wanted to be on his good side. Anyway, he graduates high school, and most of us were still in 12th grade. I remember he used to come around lunchtime to smoke with the people out front, shoot the breeze and talk about how much fun it is to just sleep in and do nothing and have all this freedom.
It was a couple of months of, "Oh, how very cool," to, "Dude, why are you still here?" as we awkwardly shuffled back to class.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and ring the notification bell.